Welcome to Networks Professionals.
All right, let's just dive right into this explainer. We are going to completely demystify the ultimate launching pad for a career in the booming cloud computing industry. If you want a robust, absolutely future-proof career, you're exactly where you need to be. Today, we are breaking down the CompTIA Cloud Plus certification. So if you're just starting your IT journey, you're probably wrestling with a massive question right out of the gate. Which vendor do you actually choose? Do you just immediately specialize in AWS, Azure, or maybe Google Cloud? Honestly, making that choice on day one is incredibly daunting. Look, every single platform has its own complex jargon, unique ecosystems, and super steep learning curves. Putting all your eggs in one specific basket right away, that actually might be a huge misstep. To solve that dilemma, here is our agenda for today. We'll cover the cloud computing bridge, exactly what's on the exam, the essential exam details, a proven 5-step study plan, and finally, the career and salary impact. Moving into Section 1, the cloud computing bridge, building your IT foundation. Let's look at why jumping straight into one vendor's ecosystem might actually trap you and limit your options. This setup really perfectly illustrates the contrast. Cloud Plus is your multi-cloud foundation, while platforms like AWS or Azure are your eventual specialization. Unlike Microsoft or AWS certs, Cloud Plus doesn't just lock you into a single ecosystem right away. Instead, it teaches you the universal fundamentals, how cloud computing actually works underneath the hood. You're learning the concepts that apply everywhere before you specialize anywhere. The crucial takeaway here is that Cloud Plus acts as the structural bridge spanning that huge gap between beginner IT and an advanced cloud career. Think about it, like building a house, right? You wouldn't throw up the walls without pouring the concrete slab first. It just collapses. Cloud Plus is that solid concrete. It bridges your basic networking knowledge directly to those specialized, high-paying cloud roles, ensuring you actually understand the ground you're standing on. All right, Section 2, what's on the exam? The 6 major domains. Let's break down the exact skills you'll be building. The syllabus here has incredible breadth. It leans heavily on hands-on, practical skills over abstract theory. First, you've got cloud architecture, so the nuances of public, private, and hybrid clouds, plus virtualization and containers. Then deployment, covering infrastructure as code and massive migrations. Operations ensures you can handle daily monitoring, scaling, and critical backups. Security is obviously huge, focusing on identity and access management and rigid compliance standards like PCI DSS. You'll even cover DevOps fundamentals like CI/CD pipelines and Kubernetes. And finally, troubleshooting for complex network and security incidents. Because this syllabus is totally vendor neutral, these skills are usable across AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud alike. The reality is, most businesses today don't just use one provider. They operate in complex, real-world hybrid environments. They might use AWS for storage, but Azure for Active Directory, and maybe Google for data analytics. By staying vendor neutral, you become incredibly flexible, adaptable, and highly job-ready across the entire industry. Moving right along to Section 3, Essential Exam Details, the Hard Facts. Now that we know the syllabus, let's talk logistics for test day. Here is exactly what to expect when you sit down for the test. The exam code is CV004. You'll face up to 90 questions, and you have exactly 90 minutes to finish them. That means you need to be quick and confident. It's a mix of multiple choice and performance-based questions, and the voucher costs around $370. For that investment, you get a globally recognized credential. Plus, you can take it online, from your living room or at a Pearson V test center anywhere in the world. And while CompTIA recommends 2 to 3 years of experience, look, a dedicated beginner can absolutely master this. To actually pass, you'll need a score of 750 out of 900. And remember those performance-based questions I mentioned? Yeah, that means demonstrating real problem solving. It's not just theory. You'll be tested in practical, scenario-based environments that perfectly mimic what you'll face on the job when a server literally goes down. Section 4, your 5-step study plan, the beginner roadmap. Let's look at a highly structured strategy to conquer this thing without getting totally overwhelmed. Following these 5 sequential steps is absolutely the best path forward. Step 1, nail the basics. Do not skip your networking fundamentals, TCP/IP, DNS, VPNs. Step 2, gather your resources. Grab the official CompTIA guide or hit up Udemy and YouTube. Step 3 is the big one, get your hands dirty. Spin up an AWS free tier or Azure free account and actually practice creating virtual machines and configuring networks yourself. Step 4, take practice tests and treat them like the real deal. And step 5, execute targeted revision. When you hit that final revision step, here's a massive pro tip. Heavily revise your troubleshooting scenarios and security concepts. Why? Because troubleshooting literally forces you to synthesize everything you've learned from all the other domains. You have to be completely confident handling deployment failures on the fly and deeply understand vulnerability management.
Finally, Section 5, Career and Salary Impact. Reaching the destination. Let's look at the reward waiting for you at the finish line.
With companies rapidly shifting to multi-cloud environments, the demand for these foundational skills is just skyrocketing. Getting certified drastically improves your readiness for some seriously fast-growing, high-demand roles. We're talking opening doors to become a cloud engineer, a system administrator, a DevOps engineer, a cloud support specialist, or an infrastructure engineer. Because this syllabus aligns so perfectly with daily real-world tasks, employers know exactly the kind of versatility you bring to the table. And the financial impact of taking this leap? It's huge. Certified professionals often see an average salary bump of around $8,000 a year. In a sector that is recognized as one of the fastest growing and highest paying IT fields globally, having a practical, recognized certification translates directly to a massive increase in your lifetime earning power. That's a real game changer. To wrap this all up, your overarching strategy should be crystal clear. Start by building your vendor-neutral foundation first, your networking basics and Cloud Plus. Then, once that foundation is rock solid and you actually understand the cloud at a fundamental level, that's when you go pursue a specific Microsoft Azure or AWS specialization. It's the smartest, most secure path for anyone entering the space. So, armed with a clear roadmap, an understanding of the 6 major domains, and a view of your financial destination, the only thing left is execution. The multi-cloud future isn't waiting for anyone. So, which foundational brick are you going to lay today? Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Thanks for watching.